Hey folks, and welcome to Mr. Morrid's Coffee. The name refers to Mr. Morrid, the old man in Final Fantasy IX who had that quest to get a bunch of coffee. The name is a replacement idea for the terrible Drew Thoughts name that I had last time. I think this one's a little better, and I think it has a little more staying power. And so I just want to talk a little bit about DFFOO and just have a little bit of a chat. Again, this is going to be an audio only, so just take a little bit of time and just feel free to tab to another window and enjoy. It shouldn't be any loud noises or anything. I still plan to continue with this series, just being more chill and a little less hype. So, this is a bit of a test run. I don't want to talk about too many topics, but the one topic I want to have is a little bit of afterthoughts about Core and why I don't think he was a good choice for a GL first from a marketing perspective. And I mean, I've been bouncing this idea with Mr. Morrid, and we're both rather confused. So let's talk about Core. Not about his team viability. That's not interesting to me. I don't want to talk about that. I'm much more interested and confused about Core as a choice from a marketing perspective. I'm not a marketing expert, but I'm still trying to figure out and understand the reasoning behind Core as a choice for a global first purely from marketing. So here I'm going to pull back the curtain and tell you a little bit of a personal story. Final Fantasy IX is my favorite Final Fantasy game, and while Beatrix isn't my favorite character in that game as far as her actions go, personally I think it was a little unrealistic to have her figure out the truth. Her aesthetic always looked really, really good to me, to the point where when I was playing MMOs, like in the early 2000s, I was playing armored characters, and I would wear the red pants and the silver armor, and try to mimic the aesthetic that Beatrix had. Although I had a red cloak, which made it better and make it look a little better than Beatrix did. But in any case, every iteration of my armored characters in MMOs kept to the Beatrix aesthetic as close as I could. So when I started hearing the murmurs of DFFOO's first anniversary, I got to see that Beatrix was in the game, she was playable, and her psychic skills looked really good and really crisp. And that's how I got in. I got into DFFOO because I saw Beatrix do cool things from my favorite Final Fantasy game, and she was playable. Beatrix was a successful marketing choice, and it got me to play DFFOO when otherwise I might not have. In my mind, every Global First should be marketed to bring in players who otherwise might not have. I'd give personal commentary to each Global First we've had, but instead I'm going to throw some numbers up on how many retweets and likes each Global First character got on the DFFOO Twitter when it was announced. I know that's not a very fantastic metric for any precise data, especially financially, but it does give some context to what I want to point out about the Core choice and trying to bring it to new players. So, Beatrix got 600 retweets and 1100 likes. This noise was enough that I learned about DFFOO and joined the game, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who did as well. Arnea got 600 retweets and 1400 likes, so similar numbers of retweets but significantly more likes. Vivi got 700 retweets and 1100 likes, more retweets than either of the anniversary Global Firsts, but the number of likes was the same. Balthier got 400 retweets and 750 likes. Compared to the earlier Global First, this number is incredibly low. Vincent got 800 retweets and 1,500 likes. On both retweets and likes, Vincent got more noise than any other global first ever. And then Core got 500 retweets and 700 likes. This is the lowest number of likes on any global first character, and the second less retweets aside from Balthier. So giving those numbers in context, I'm really confused as to why Core was the choice to bring a new global character. Set aside the kit, I'm not talking about the kit, I'm talking about the marketing opportunity to try and keep getting new characters to join the game. Beatrix had her cool Psyken skills and they looked really good. And so I was engaged with the game and started playing, and that's really all you need. But I don't think announcing Core and focusing a lot on the linked attacks is going to garner that type of noise. If I hadn't played DFFOO already, I wouldn't understand why I should be interested in a linked attack. I wouldn't even know what a linked attack is. It just looks like a guy doing a normal attack a bunch of times for some reason that I don't understand. Also, it should not be assumed that the average Final Fantasy fan has watched the Final Fantasy 15 movies or played the DLCs. If you just played the base game, I don't think many players are going to remember Core and his short time as a guest character in the base game. I only barely remembered him, so I'm sure I'm not the only one. Core's name doesn't quite generate the marketing buzz that Aranea did, which could explain why he only got half of the likes that Aranea got. I feel very confident that people joined the game when Aranea was announced. I feel very confident that people joined the game when Vincent LD was announced. I don't think that Core really brought in many people who weren't already playing from the Aranea announcement. So again, I'm not a marketing genius, but it's my opinion from having some experience in game dev that if you're going to take the time and trouble and resources to take an unreleased JP kit, rebalance it for GL power, and then translate it, you do it for a reason. You do it to sell the game to people who are not already in the game. If you're doing that, I don't really understand why Core was the choice to try to sell the game to bring in new fans. I've chatted with my good friend Mr. Morrid, and he also does not know. He does not have a guess, but we would be very interested in understanding any reasoning if any of you fine folk can hazard a guess. So, enjoy your day. Please come back to visit me at Mr. Morrid's Coffee. Have a good day.